Guys, let's wait for some 2 minutes so that people are joining. We can start the session shortly. Yeah, okay, let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Sridhar. I'm from Cloudnloud Technologies. So I hope everyone can see my screen, right? Please confirm me the same in your chat box. Yeah, okay. So actually today our topic is Docker administration, okay? So before moving forward, let me tell something about the Cloudnloud. So Cloudnloud is helping the IT professionals to showcase their own talents to the world. And also, if you're trying to learn any new tools or technologies, you can create your own POC. And if you face any doubts while doing your POC, you can post it in the LinkedIn group where there are a lot of IT professionals out there to answer your queries. So you can also let me show the LinkedIn group. So can everyone see this group? Please confirm me in your chat box. Yeah, okay. So Cloudnloud IT automation, this is the group, okay? So where you can post any of your queries related to the technologies which you are learning on so that the professionals will be happy to help all you people. So also you can follow this Cloudnload Technologies page where you will be getting the updates related to the events which is going to happen every day or every weekend, something like that. Okay, so today the session is going to be taken by Shubda. He is a junior cloud engineer and he is having his expertise in Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Jenkins, Linux, and AWS. Okay, so let me forward the call to Shubda so that he will continue with the Docker administration session. So if you have any doubts, you can just raise your hand. At the end, we will be having the query session where you can ask all your doubts. Yeah, Shubda, you can start your session.
Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to this Docker session. So let's get started with it. Okay, let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So before starting the Docker, let's answer this question like why we are using the Docker and what's the need of the Docker. So earlier, what we used to do is we used to have our physical server on which we are running our operating systems, and on top of that of that we are running our application, and we are running our application. But there is a problem, like if we want to run a multiple application, then what we will do? We will again set up another physical server, then we will again set up a operating system on that, then we will run our application. With this, what happens, like it also consume lots of our resources, or it's also having a dependency on the vendor for purchasing the servers, and also cost us so much. After that, we move to our virtualization. So virtualization, as we all know, like VMware, almost everyone has used here. So in virtualization, what we used to do is we have our infrastructure here. So on top of that, we are running our hypervisor, and on this we have our multiple guest operating system, and on top of that we are running our application. But here what happens, like on a single operating system, we are running the multiple VMwares, which also takes a lot of space if you want to run multiple VMware at once, right? So it also takes lots of space and also make it lots of heavy. So you can't perform multiple tasks efficiently. So here the Docker comes into the picture. So in the Docker, what we used to do is we have a single operating system on top of our infrastructure, and we are installing the Docker engine. And on top of the Docker engine, we are running the multiple containers, and in the containers, we are running our application. So it's like you have a single OS, and the resources are shared between the containers, and hence it's a lightweight and boots in a second. Now the question is why it's lightweight and how it boots in a second, because containers contains the library. They are not a OS, right? So they are the libraries. We install the libraries and dependencies in the content. Like if we are having a CentOS, suppose we need to run CentOS image. So we will download the CentOS image, we will install the libraries and dependency, and on top of that, we will run our application. So whatever we need, according to that, we will install and we will run. So we will avoid the unwanted things that we don't want, right? So in a nutshell, if you want to say what is Docker, Docker is a like open source platform on which we are deploying and running our application. So to do this, Docker uses the containers to run the application that allow to you to run the application on the same kernel. Rather than you are creating a multiple virtual machine, you can run the application on the same kernel. So like if you want to run the Docker on the Windows, or you want to run Docker on the Ubuntu, so you need to install Docker engine for the Ubuntu or Docker Windows for the Docker engine for the Windows. And on top of that, you can run any containers. So before understanding the architecture, let's understand what are containers first. So containers are the alternatives of VM. So they like they don't absolute VM. Like VM, we are all nowadays we are also using VMware. So they are the alternatives of VM. It contains all the OS related libraries and dependencies that are required to run an application and ship it as a single package. So as I said before, to run the container, you required a Docker engine on the OS. So here is the comparison between this is the containerized application, and this is a virtual machine. So here is the infrastructure, both are having infrastructure, having the operating system. So here we are having this Docker engine. So whatever underlying OS you are having, Docker engine will take care of that. You can run any kind of container and install the image in the container and run your application. So let's understand the architecture of a Docker, so how it works. So this is the architecture of the Docker. So here you can see like client, host, and registry. Registry is like you can say a repository, like we have a public repository hub.docker.com. where we have all these images of Ubuntu, CentOS, Nginx, OpenStack, Oracle, MySQL, all the images we are having. What we are doing is we are here, client will run the Docker commands, Docker related commands. And here, Docker daemon will pull the images from the public repository, and it will load the images in the container. Suppose like we are using want Ubuntu, so Ubuntu images will be downloaded in the containers, and that after downloading, we can use that containers and run our application on top of that. Okay. So any question regarding this these slides? So you can ask, then we can move to our hands-on session where I can show you how we can install Docker in the Ubuntu as well as in the CentOS. Then we will continue with some Docker commands. So can I move to the hands-on? Can you confirm in the chat? Okay. Let's continue with the hands-on session. So if you want to practice more, you need to go to github.com, GitHub cloudnloud.com. Here you will get all the steps related to Docker. So you need to go to the installation here. Here you will have all the steps for the Ubuntu and for the CentOS. So let's start with the installation. So I'm using AWS. So in the for you can use any kind of cloud or Google Cloud or AWS or anything. So let's start with the launch instance. We will use Ubuntu 18.4. We will go with the default configuration only, T2 micro. And you can select volume like 10 GB. You can select, although 8 GB is also enough, but 10 GB I'm giving. Then we can go with the, I have already created existing security group, so I'm going with that. Launch. So meanwhile it is launching, let's create the CentOS images. PM. We will name is at a Docker Ubuntu. So we will install 𝐂𝐨𝐬𝐿, where we will search CentOS 7. We will go with the same settings. So let's name is that CentOS. So let's wait a little bit initializing. It's getting initialized. Okay, so our first has ready. So meanwhile, I can log in this. I'm using mobile extreme here. You can use putty also to log in your server. So let's start with the installation part. First, we will do in the Ubuntu. Then we will go with the CentOS. So what's the first step is to update. So let's update the system. Switch as a root user, or we will perform all the commands. We will perform as a root user in this. So let's update. Okay. So now, so before installing the Docker, we will install some prerequisite packages that are required. So we will install this. So yes, it's getting installed. Okay. So now our packages are being installed. So we will add the GPG key. So if you don't add the GPG key, you cannot install any package from the repository. So let's add this command. Okay, it's added. Now we will add the repository. So this repository you should add before installing software, because if you don't add this repository in the system, then the system won't know like from where we need to install the Docker. So let's add this repository. Okay, now our Docker has been installed or added. So let's update the system. Okay, so now our system is being updated. Now install. Let's install the Docker. So we are installing the Docker community edition in this. Yes, we need to install it. Okay, so now Docker is installed. So let's start the Docker. Systemctl start Docker. Then we will enable the Docker. Okay, so to test the if installation is being successful, let's run some command like docker -v. So yes, so Docker version is showing. So Docker is being installed here. So test with some another command, docker search CentOS. Yeah, it's showing. So it means like our Docker has been installed successfully in the Ubuntu server. So let's install the Docker in the CentOS. Okay, so let's check. I think it's being initialized. Okay. Okay, now we are logged in. So we will follow the same document. Now we will install in the CentOS. So we will perform all these steps, add some prerequisite repository packages. Okay, so has been installed. Now we will add this Docker repository. You can also directly use this command HTTPS command using curl, or you can also add this repository by using yum config manager. So let's go with this command. Now we will add the, okay, so now repository is being added. You can also check, it's like yum slash etc dot d. What was that? So here you can see like our Docker Enterprise Edition repo has been added to the in the system. So now what we will do is we will install the Docker Community Edition. So let's come out with the this one we will install. So I would recommend you to like if you install any packages, so you should not give a -y. Why? Because if you install any package, you will see like you cannot see like what are the dependencies are being installed in the while installing the packages. So let's execute with this -y and let's check. See, so these are the packages are dependencies are being installed. So when in the production, when you go and install any packages, you should see like which packages are being installed and which are required and which are not. So like this, you can customize your thing and install any package. So as of now, we are installing all the packages. So let's give Y. It will install all the dependencies. Okay, Y. Okay, so now it's being installed. So let's check here also Docker -v. It is successfully installed. So we can also do Docker search command check. I think some internet issues there. What's problem here? Oh, sorry. We didn't start the Docker. So let's start the Docker and enable it. Okay, now we can run the Docker commands, check. Docker search sent to us. Yeah. So it's showing. So with this, we can see like our Docker is being successfully installed in the CentOS machine as well as in the Ubuntu machine. So now we will go through with some Docker commands one by one. So for that, we will use same GitHub cloudnloud.com. So in this, we have uh, commands lab 1. So today we will discuss all these commands. So let's get started one by one. So Docker version, we have already seen Docker-v, and Docker search engine also, like how to identify the official image from the Docker Hub. As you can see here, it is written on the, if you want to search CentOS, here it is written like official build of CentOS. I would recommend you to like always go with the official build of the packages, because these all our packages are designed by whom we are not aware of that. It can be vulnerable in the production. So if you are installing any packages from the for in the production, it always go with the official image. So other command, okay. How to run an image. So we have here Docker run CentOS. Let's run this command. Let me clear the screen. Okay. Docker run CentOS. So right now we don't have any image in our CentOS machine, right? So we are installing. So let's see what happened first here. Okay. So now here you can see like we were not having any images in our local machine. So what Docker does is Docker first it will search in your local machine. If it is not there, then it will pull the image from the hub.docker.com, which is a public repository. From that it will pull the image and it will run the image in the container. So we can see, we can open a new tab. Wait. So here, so to list the images, containers, so we can use Docker ps-a. Sorry. Oh. So here you can see like all we are using as a root, all we are performing as a root user. Here we default CentOS user is there, so see its permission getting denied. So all right now we didn't added the user in the Docker group, so we will switch as a root user. So if you are performing any command using a sudo user, so you should add the that username in the Docker group. Then only you can execute those commands. Otherwise, you need to do always as a root user. So let's run the command Docker ps-a to list the containers. So see, right now we have only one container. So it's showing exited state. So why it's showing the exit state, I will explain. So yeah. So now the next step is, now we will, okay, we have listed the see the what exit state we have Docker ps command. Now we will open the, okay, two windows we have already opened. Okay, two tabs we have, CentOS, two tabs we have. Now run the CentOS. Okay. So how to get inside the container, now we will see that. So to run the containers, -it means interactive terminal. So here, what does it mean? We want a terminal to run the CentOS. and in which shell, in the bash shell we will run. Okay, so we will go with this. Okay, now see here you can see the difference. Before I was in my local machine. Now what here the container ID is showing here. Now I am in the container. Okay, so and right now I can perform any task here. So if we list here docker ps -a, you can see the container ID it's showing here. It's up. Okay. So if I press exit here, and if I check again docker ps -a, again it's showing existed state. But we want to run our container in the background also. Even if we exit, we should see like container should run always. So for that we will use uh, detach mode, DIT. Means after detaching from the terminal, the container should always run in the background. Okay, so let's start with this docker run DIT nginx. So we will run this command. Right now we don't have nginx image, right? So what we'll do, it will search in the local, then again it will download from the hub.docker.com, then it will execute in nginx in the background. Let's see. Okay, the image is being downloaded. Okay, now we can see here. Let's docker ps -a. Yeah, it's a, you can see here image nginx. So since we have run the nginx image in the container with the -d, it will always show you up. Even if we are not went inside the container, the nginx container it's running in the background. So always it will show up. Okay, even after you exit. So in the production, like when we are running the any container, we want that container should be up and running always. So for that, you need to use -dit for with the run command. Okay, so yeah, here you can also see like D is a background interactive. So in the background, it will always run the container. Okay, so see which containers are running. So if you want to go inside the container, let's see. So this is the container ID. Okay, so when you are running the command, when you practice in your POC, always use your container ID. Okay, so let's execute this command. So what is our container ID? We will go in the, let's see, this container ID we will go. Okay. Yeah. So now, right now we are in the container running container nginx container. So for going inside the container, you can also use this execute command. So which container is this? Is the container ID you need to give. Okay. So how to inspect running or exited container? So as I already show, like you can use docker ps-a this command to see which containers are exit. It will show all the details to you. Okay, the container ID, image, command, and created, when it is created, what's the status, and on which port it is running, and what's the name of the container. This is the random name that image container is created. It's been given. Okay, so let's see other commands. So how to pull, okay, this is the how to pull any Docker image. So before we have seen like we are using Docker run send to us. What it is doing, it will search in the locally and it will download and it will run the container. But we don't want to run any container. We just want to download the image. That's it. So for that, we will use Docker pull. So CentOS we already have. So let's try with any other command image. Oh, sorry, we are inside the container, right? So we will exit from this. So now let's execute. Docker pull, let's say MySQL we will install. Yeah, so it's been pulling from the repository. Okay, so now the image has been, so to list the images, how many images we are running, right? So for that, the command is docker images. See, so we have total 3 images in our machine with MySQL, Nginx that we have already installed, and CentOS also we have already installed, and MySQL is the new one that right now we installed. Okay, so yeah, Docker images I've already just now explained. Now, how to run the instant command directly to one image? Okay, so let's understand before running this command. Let's understand what it is trying to explain. So we have our Nginx server and CentOS server, right? A container. So we will run first Docker container Nginx we are already running. So let's get inside that container. This is where is the container ID? This is the container ID we have for Nginx. Right? I think this command. Okay. We will go inside that container. And if we execute ping command, so let's see what happens. Ping command what from? Why? Because as I said before, containers are the collection, in the containers have the libraries and dependencies related to Nginx only, right? So ping command related libraries are not there in the Nginx servers, because Nginx server is it's a web server, right? So it doesn't have any relation with the ping command. So we generally don't use ping command with the Nginx server, right? So if you want to if you want to install any if you want to run any command, so make sure that its related library should be there in that container. Then only we can run that command. So let's come out from these this container. Exit. Let's execute this command in this CentOS. Okay, let's see what happened. First, we will run docker dit. Okay. So now we have this container. Let's take this container ID. So even if you give -80, like before I have given dit and then again I'm giving it, if you after that if you come out, then also it doesn't stop the it doesn't show the exited state, because we have already given the instruction like already we are have run the CentOS image with the detach mode. So if you going inside and again coming out, that will not stop the container. So let's use the ping command here. Ping google.com. See here the command is working. Why? Because in the CentOS image, we already have the ping command related libraries, right? So if we have the ping command related libraries, the command will work. So here you can see the ping command is working because we have the library ping related libraries and dependencies in the container. Okay. So now we will run this image, this command. So you can also run and test with the image and with the command. Okay, so let's see what this command shows. Come out from the container. Okay. See, so here multiple tasks are going on. Let me explain you. So here what's happening, we don't have a busy box images, right? So what happened, it searched in the local. If it didn't find that, and then it downloaded from the hub.docker.com. Then we are giving the ping command. So busybox already have the libraries related to ping commands. So it is automatically executing this ping command. So you can also test, like if you want to test any ping command, it's there on if any command is running with the particular image or not, you can give with that. It will throw an, if it is not, it will throw an error, otherwise it will execute. Like that you can plan, like if it's not running, then what are the libraries we need to install to make it run. This thing you can plan. Okay, so next command we will move. See this already we have seen, like we have run the nginx and as well as the CentOS machine. So in this we have already seen this command we have already run, same command is there. Okay, so yeah, so now if you want to run a container like outside from the from a specific port, so how we will run that? For that, -hyphen publish is used for running the container on a particular port, right? So we want the nginx server to run on the 8080 ports. So let's test this. Okay. Let me clear the screen first. Okay. So we will run this. So we have already have the nginx server in image. Yes, you can see like it's running on the port. So we can go and check. Wait a second. This is our IP, server IP, right? It should work. Yeah, you can see. So we have what I have done is I have run the container on the 8080 publish on the 8080 port nginx server, and I copied the IP and pasted here. So it's showing like welcome nginx. So we can see like our container is running on the 8080 port. Now what happens if I come out from this container? Let's see. If I refresh, I think it will not show. See, site is can't be reached. Why it happened? Because we haven't run this command with the detach mode, right? So every time if we want to run the any command in the background, we must give the in the detach mode. So how we can give, here is the command docker run -f publish. So -f detach is used to run the any particular container in the background. So let's test this. Okay, so now it's running. Let's check again. Yes. So always it will run in the background on the 8080 ports. So even if you exit it from the container, so it won't stop. Okay. So let's move to the next command. How to inspect any image. So if you want to inspect any image, like what's inside, what's configured in the image, so you can always use Docker image inspect any like image name you can give. So we have already have a Nginx image, so let's use this. Here you can see it will show all the insights of the image. What are the things it is there, like image ID and repo tags, and when it was created on a container ID it's showing. So all the information related to image, if you want to inspect, it will show this. Next, we have how to inspect any container. See, so like image, you can also inspect the container. So as always, the container ID depends on your POC lab. You need to give your own container ID. Here also I will give my container ID. Let's check the container ID. Yeah. Docker PS happen. So let's check the Nginx. Okay, which one is running? CentOS we will check. Okay, let's inspect this. See, so what's inside the container you can also inspect. So container ID, it will show on a path, it will show when it was created, it will show the state of the container running. So all the things it will show about the container. So you can also see that insights of, if you want to see. Now, this is a very crucial command, I would say Docker system prune. So here you can see like what it is written. Like it will stop all the containers. It will all networks not used by the latest one container. It will stop all the containers, and it will delete all the dangling images. It will also remove all dangling build cache. So what are all these? I will show, like which all our containers are stopped right now. Let's see. So we have CentOS and Nginx, I guess. Exit state we have. So we will give Docker system. Okay, so here you can see it will remove all the stop containers, all network not used by, or whichever network which is not used by the container, it will delete all those. And what are the dangling images are which we have downloaded, but it is not being used by the containers for like longer period of time. So those are called dangling images. And dangling build cache is like if you are pulling any image from the hub, pulling any images, it's also created a small cache in the memory. So that also it will delete. So let's give yes. So see, it has removed all the containers. So let's check the ps-he. So you can see the difference, which all are the container has been deleted. So these all our containers you can see are removed as they are in the existing state. This one also is being removed, and this one also, busybox also is being removed, and this nginx also is being removed. So these are all these those are all which having the existed state, means they are stopped, are not being used. So all that images are being removed. So we don't have dangling images right now, so it's not that is I think not being removed. So let's go with another command then. Okay. So here you can see like let me clear the screen first. Yes. So these are the list of containers right now that are running, right? So here you can see the name, like random names are giving are there to the containers. Like models have. We don't want these random names. We want our customer. We want our name, customized name. So that also we can do. How we can do? We can run this Docker run command. Like we are installing again one image httpd, and we are giving its name as a web. Okay. So let's run that command. Not here. Here we will run. So hyphen name, it's used to give any name to your container. So instead of generating any random name, it will assign the name which you have given. Minus D is like running the container in the detached mode. You can also minus D or minus DIT also you can specify. So as of now, we don't have HTTPD image. So it will search and download. Yeah, so it's being downloaded. So let's check the again. See, it's all up and running, and its name is web. We have given hyphen f name web we have given. So like this, you can specify your name. Okay, then okay. So now, if you want to access any file through the containers or inside the container, right? So you can at the same time, if you want to give any port on a specific port, if you want to run, so how to do that? Let's see that. So this command is docker run. What we are doing is we are running in the detached mode. We will give a Cloudnloud name, okay, and minus hyphen p is for giving a port. This 8087 is your don't get confused in this. This first port is for your machine, for your local, and the second port is for your container port. Right before also we have executed similar command above here, hyphen publish. So here also this first port is for your local machine, and the second port is for your container. Okay. So here we are hyphen p, we are specifying the port. Okay. Then hyphen v is for volume. So we are attaching a particular directory to our container. You can like any directory you can attach like in the production we have like /opt or /efs or /data or /soft. You can specify any directory which you want to attach. And this is the since we are installing the httpd image, so we are mounting the giving this local path where we are installing the I think this is the default path of the Apache server where we create our index.html, right? So let's execute this command and see what happens. Okay, so we will run on the 8087 port. Okay, now you can check here PSR see 8087 HTTPD image is being installed running in the container, and on the 8087 port it's running, and it's having the name Cloudnloud web that we have given, right? So let's check this with the server IP. We can check in the browser. Here we can go, and here we can specify colon 8087. So it will not show anything. Why? Because we don't have any index.html file in the Apache, that default path that we have given, right? So if you want to create any HTML file, so you can also create in this folder, or you can also create under this path also. Both if you create in this container will automatically pick that index.html file in this from this, and it will execute that. So let's create that index.html first. So what I will do, echo hello slash, yeah, we will give this command. Okay, so now we have printed this hello in the index.html. Now let's refresh the page. See, you can check hello is being printed here. So where I created in the file directory which I have mounted. So it automatically picks up the file from this directory and executed. Okay, so let's check the another commands. So this I have already explained, like this is your main machine port, and this is your Docker container port, and this is your main base machine directory, and this is the Docker image directory that we have installed, like httpd. Okay, so so I think this all we have done. We have created the file. We have created index.html. I've already shown right now. Okay, so now if you want to don't want to give any port, right? If you want to give any dynamic port, so that also you can do. So what the command for this, like docker run minus capital P. Okay, so if you want to run let's run the same. Don't get confused with the hyphen small p here. Here the small this hyphen small p, you can specify any your dynamic port or your own port, and minus capital P will like system will give you any port. So let's see this. Okay, so web already we have name. So let's give web1. Okay, so now we can check here. So web1 is being running on 49153 port, which is dynamically assigned by the system. So let's check in the browser this port. What the port is? See, it's work. So like this, you can give any port, dynamic port to your container. Okay, so yeah, I think we have already, yeah, you can see -p is for dynamic port selection, automatic port will be selected. And you can also, like we have seen just now here, it's working. So you can also test like HTTP and give that random port to test. So that's it for today's session. I think you can ask your queries. Hello, Srivasan, you can unmute all for the queries.
I will unmute everyone. So if you have any queries, you can ask in the you can ask in the query session right now.